Um, my name is Robin Rivera. I graduated from Overton High School. I have been a licensed professional cosmetologist since 2003.
A license. What? Say that one more time, please.
A licensed professional cosmetologist. Yeah, been in the hair game for quite some time. Um, Went straight into being a complete hair nerd. If you knew me in school, you know I love science, I love math, and I love art.
Mm-hmm.
Went, like I said, I went to Overton Creative and Performing Arts, so we were really, really deep in all things production. I didn't know that working behind stage then would help me for what I'm doing now,
Mm-hmm.
but went off to school, went to Tennessee State University, and throughout and life happenings, I ended up not finishing, but I went into doing hair. And I love the art of it, but quite honestly, it was the science behind it that really
Mm.
did it for me. So, my mom wasn't quite pleased when I first said I was going
Uh
to do
oh.
hair.
Uh oh.
That wasn't the thing.
Hair. What?
Yeah, because I mean, I was pretty smart and I wanted to be a doctor. I really wanted to pursue medicine and go further because, like I said, I love science and I
Mm-hmm.
love math and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I decided I got pregnant with my oldest,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided I would go back to school when
Mm-hmm.
she entered school.
Okay.
In the meantime, we got to make some money because we got a baby to take care of, right?
Right.
So I went to hair school and I got my license, and I fell really, really hard with just all things texture, all things color. And shout out to May Smith for having a color class that
Mm.
was hosted by Avalon. She was really big on giving professional education along with professional products. May, I owe a lot to her.
Mm.
She was the type when you didn't have the money, you know, people weren't giving us credit.
Right. Right. Right.
She'd say, you can't make any money if you don't have any products. And if you don't have the money to buy products, how you gonna make any money doing hair? So she used to let us get stuff
And
on
that was
credit.
instilled in you early.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I got drafted out of an Avalon class, and my first class doing for Avalon was actually a show. We had an international beauty show here
In Memphis.
in Memphis. And so since then, I had been an educator. I've done plenty of workshops and seminars and in salon demos
Mm-hmm.
over the few years. And I think when we talked last time, you know, we were right in the pandemic.
Right.
And
Everything was
so
virtual.
everything was virtual, but
Mm-hmm.
we had slammed down, you know,
Mm-hmm.
hairstylists couldn't do hair.
That's
So
right.
last time we talked, I was making masks.
That's right. You was
And
making
yeah,
masks. That's how
the
we
mask
met.
took me
Masks.
through. Yeah, the
Yep.
mask
Yep.
took me through. Shout out to Mascara.
Yeah.
Um,
Man.
but imagine being a hairstylist and an educator, and your job is to actually touch people. And now you're saying you can't touch
At
people at
all.
all. No education classes, no in salon,
No
no
washing
teaching,
head. Nothing.
nothing, nada. So, yeah, making masks, another skill, sewing,
Mm-hmm.
came into play and it carried me through.
That's a science too.
It is. We started doing like virtual classes with Avalon,
Mm-hmm.
and that became the thing because you still needed to get the education out there, and people were hungry for education.
And Avalon was still wanting to teach people. I
They
want y'all to
they
teach
definitely
folks.
were. We're considered the science of hair care. Dr. Ali N. Syed founded this company in 1984. We're almost 40.
Avalon, like Avalon,
Avalon,
like the
Avalon.
real Avalon, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're almost 40, and we pride ourselves on being the science of hair care. Dr. Syed is a patent holder of more than 45 worldwide patents in hair technology.
Mm.
And I've had the honor and the privilege to study under him for the last, since 2005, so what, 18 years or so?
Wow.
Which has been a complete blessing. He's like Albert Einstein of hair, and I'm a hair nerd. So I've been soaking up all that education.
Right.
I told you I wanted to do like the virtual education, and I did.
Right. And you was doing it.
And
That's
yeah,
the last time we talked. You was like, yo, one day I want to teach this and be official with it.
right,
And that was 2 years ago.
right.
So 2 years later, I mean, what we doing?
2 years later, I am now the creative liaison of education for Avalon Global.
Woo! Now you got to say that title. Now say it a little slower so the people that's driving
Come
can
on,
hear. Because
John.
I got to blow this up. You got to say it one more time for the people in the back.
I am the creative liaison of education for Avalon Global.
Creative liaison for Avalon Global, not Mid South,
No,
not Midwest,
no,
Global.
no.
From what high school? Overton High School.
Overton High School. Shout out the Wolverines.
Shout out to the Wolverines, but from Memphis to Global.
Yeah.
Now, since the last time we talked 2 years ago, and now that you're in this position, you know, what did it take for you to go from doing virtual classes for Avalon to them saying, yo, we want to officially tap you, bring you in, and be part of the family?
I think part of it was kind of having that initiative to create something different. I realized throughout the pandemic, sometimes those ideas, like I had plenty of time to think. And I thought that doing education differently and offering it differently might reach people in a different type of way. So I put the plan in. I wrote it down. I said what I wanted to do. If this was my responsibility to offer education, or if I wanted to create a curriculum that really talked about texture, how would I do it? And it wasn't even a job to apply for. They created this position and came to me.
They created it.
Yeah.
Now, come look, we got to get this up. Hold on. We got to clap this up. So they done created a position for a former Memphis Shelby County School graduate at Avalon. Now, y'all, look, y'all go ahead and Google Avalon. Y'all know the Avalon, especially I know our young ladies and ladies know about Avalon, and they created a position for the guest today. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I wanted to bring her on, to show that no matter where you come from, if you're serious about your craft and whatever you're doing, there's opportunities out here. And yes, you think, okay, yeah, I might like that job, might like that. But they created a position for our sister here today. Now, when you got all of that and you found out that they did that, they offered you the paper and all that, how did that make you feel? Like when you was to yourself, like to come up, like to think back on where you came from and all the hairs you touched, all the colors you colored and all of that. How was it when it was just you to yourself after all that transpired?
Quite amazing, really, to kind of look back. I remember in hair school, and people who went to hair school with me, they knew you had to get up and you had to say, what do you want to do in this industry? And I said that I wanted to be a celebrity stylist, but not because I did celebrities, because I wanted to be known for my way of doing hair.
Okay.
Still, like education-wise, I guess. I wanted to be on the main stage of the premier beauty event that happens in Orlando.
Now break that down. So you to be on the main stage, is that like the top dog? Like that's where all of the top people do hair.
Yeah.
Now, not over there in the corner behind the elevators and stuff. You on the main stage.
Yeah, I wanted to main stage for my company, or just any company. I wanted to be on the main stage. Like all the top educators from all the beauty brands honed down on this one event, and it's called Premier Beauty Orlando.
Okay, she giving us game, y'all.
It's a major event. Like we know about the Bronner Brothers,
right?
We know about Proud Ladies, we know about the IBS, the ABS. These are all great trade shows within our trade. Like, don't sleep on the trades. I know everybody tells you to go to college and everything, and that's a good thing too. I went.
Yeah.
But if you don't think that you're a college person and you're really good with your hands or with your skill, there is nothing wrong with earning a trade.
CCTE, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what's up. It used to be called, what they used to call, Votech. But it's just CCTE now. It didn't go nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to do it. You can become your own business. You can use your creativity and go further than just behind a chair. There are so many opportunities, and this is one of them, to actually teach, but teach on a high level.
Right. So like you teaching folks that go to other salons, or what's your, like, you just got anybody, you just teaching anybody? Like what you teaching?
I teach anyone. I go all the way from in salons for stylists, or in schools to teach cosmetology or barber students, or when we're at the trade shows, I'm in the classroom where the professionals go to learn their extra skills, or I'm on the platform and I'm marketing and I'm branding. I'm doing platform artistry for my company. Wow. So
Now,
I just like to share.
platform artistry. What's that? You hit me with a new term. What's that?
It's like being up on a platform at these trade shows. You know how you go to any show or whatever, and you got these different stages, and
Right.
every brand has their own stage. Well,
You that
Avalon
one.
has a stage, and I'm on that stage.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Robin. See, ladies and
You gotta be
gentlemen, you
careful with
can
it.
make it, ladies and gentlemen. You can make it to the main stage. And I mean, like, to see where you started and to where you are. And, like, ladies and gentlemen, she's not stopping right here, but just to see the growth, like, how does that transpire when you talking to your daughter and your friends or young people about, like you said, it's many avenues they can go with this, but how do you take your story and pour into your daughter and the young people?
Um, since my daughter is actually here, she knows I'm really big on education.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sleep on it. Like, you can learn from anywhere. You
Mm-hmm.
can learn from anyone
Mm-hmm.
if you change your mind to perceive it that way. Even though I'm a teacher, I'm a master educator, I'm still a constant learner. Um, Teaching over at the Institute of Beauty, I have students there that are just now getting into the beauty game. So I
Okay.
try to give them all the skills, like more than what the book allows, to give
Mm-hmm.
them as many opportunities as they can possibly get.
Right.
Texture isn't well taught in a lot of arenas, and when I
Texture
went
is
to
just like
school,
knowing what type of hair.
knowing how to do excessively curly, kinky, coily, African American typically
You hear how
hair.
she breaking it down, ladies and gentlemen, politically correctly. I love it.
Well, I mean, when I was in school, the texture chapter was like 3 pages, maybe. They taught us
Wow.
how to thermally straighten, like press. They
Mm-hmm.
taught us how to do relaxers. No one was really teaching us how to finger coil or how to define the natural patterns that we had.
Wow. Wow.
Now we're doing that.
Wow. And you doing all and so if somebody was to say your favorite area, I know you said education, but is it color or what's the part of doing all of this that is like your passion?
Hair texture.
Hair texture.
I
That's it.
consider myself a texture specialist.
So like if somebody say, "Hey, I want to get Bantu knots and all this stuff," and you be like, "Yo, your hair can't handle that." Like you got to tell them in a nice, professional voice. Like you may want those, but it's because and ladies and gentlemen, I'm not throwing no shade, but just as a hairstylist, I know sometimes you got to be able to say, "Yo, that might not fit your hair texture or it may not match." But like, do you ever have to tell somebody stuff like that? Like some of the people, your clients, like you might let's go in another direction without hurting their feelings.
Of course. It's all about the context, which is like the conversation on texture.
Okay.
You've got to have that consultation. You've got to have the conversation and see where they are currently
Mm-hmm.
before you can even possibly know how to get to where they want to go.
Okay.
Having that conversation and defining things for them and letting them know what issues you see with it, you
Mm-hmm.
can only do that if you really study hair.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I try to pass that along to not only my students, but to my clients, to my guests. I get DMs all the time. People send me pictures and stuff, and it's like,
They be sending
hey,
you pictures.
yeah,
What?
yeah. Because not everyone has the availability to come into the salon.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone's time can make it. Not everyone can afford it. And I really, really think that we're suffering right now for a lack of knowledge. A lot of people just want to know what to do with their hair.
Because our hair is special now, and we
Yes.
got all kind of hair out here.
We do. And it's just as unique as the person who wears it. So if you can find out where that person is, what their needs are, you can actually attend to those and provide them something that will give them real hair care.
So now I'm glad we talking about hair and texture because now when I saw you coming here with the head, I'm like, okay, her daughter practicing hair or something. And it was like, no, this her thing because I equate that to people who just starting to do hair, the people that's trying to practice and learn so they have a head. But you got it with you and you certified with Avalon, but you still got your practice hair. What do they call what's the
A
name?
mannequin.
A mannequin. And you practicing doing hair like when you take that with you everywhere you go, you just get inspired to try something, or what's the purpose?
At times, this one actually is a special mannequin. This is a Kiki mannequin from Burmax. It has 4 different textures on it. So this is an excellent demo mannequin for me to explain how different techniques work on different textures, from a soft wave to even a kinkier curl. I used this week while I was demoing some techniques with my students, and we did double strand twists and we did some Bantu knots. But how can I expect you to do one if I can't show you how to do one?
That's right. I
And
got
even
you.
then, I always am practicing because that's how your skills get up.
Wow. So you
I want to
stay,
keep my
you
skills.
stay, you stay sharpening the sword. That's what it is.
Exactly.
But how do your students, like, relate to you? Because in your field, do they look at you as the auntie or the OG, or are they like, yo, she's just my teacher or professor, whatever they may call, because you know the game, you know what it takes. But how do your students relate to you? Because sometimes they be like, well, you're not a 20-year-old like us. How can you tell us about, we got the new hair coming all the way from India and in Saudi Arabia, and you ever work with that type of hair? How was that?
It's actually been easier than I thought it would be because there's so much that relates. Things that happened then, they come back around.
Okay.
Even the styles, like they started talking about knotless braids and box braids and all that, and I'm like, we used to call them doodle braids. Like they were the poetic justice braids.
Right.
Even feed-in braids or stitch braids. It's all different techniques, and everything has a new name, but the technique, the skill is still the same. So if I teach you the skill, I'm not just giving you like, here's how to do a ponytail. I'm going to show you everything it takes to create a ponytail. So no matter whose head you're working
you can
on,
make a
you can
ponytail.
create a ponytail.
And a ponytail is a staple in some women's
It
heads,
is.
right?
It
You got to
is.
know how to have that ponytail.
Of course.
Yo, Kathy Hart should have been here to help with this interview, because she hit me with knowledge. I'm like, yo, okay, all right. I'm not a woman because my hair is good. I'm bald headed, but I can understand people with the textures thinking they want this, but your hair may not be ready for that, or you may can't handle what you want. But let me if you work with me, I can get you there. And it's like you got to have people skills also, not just the skills on how to touch the hair and do it. You got to be able to communicate. And did you pick up anything from schooling from that, or back in the day you had some teachers, anybody to help you with that part of it?
The communication. Yes, I definitely want to shout out 2 of my teachers. One, she's still with us, Miss Rhonda Howard. She used to be Rhonda Bowles. She was my science teacher in junior high. That's how long ago
Wow.
it was.
Okay, you going all the way back.
Who later on became one of my clients, actually.
Wow.
Full circle. She taught my oldest daughter. Really a good person, but she taught me about being a people person, kind of helped me with some self-esteem, transitioning into a teenager, you're changing.
Right.
She was around that junior high. And then my other teacher that I definitely have to shout out, Miss Martin Hardaway. She's no longer with us. My favorite teacher, hands down.
Wow.
Overton High Classic, legend. She was my math teacher, but she was also my homeroom teacher.
Wow.
And she taught us to do everything in excellence. If you didn't, it was minus 15, minus 30, minus
Just like
45.
that.
Yeah, she didn't play. She
Wow.
did not play. I can still hear her clacking them nails on that thing. Like, she was strict, but she was like that because she loved us.
And
And
all
she
that
wanted
came
us,
with you.
it
Took all
all
that
came
with
back.
you.
It all comes back.
That's amazing. See, now y'all see why teachers are so important, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they may teach math, science, as Robin said, but look at the life skills and the other things that these teachers are helping our young people with, ladies and gentlemen. So we always got she went all the way back to her junior high school teacher to give props. Some of us can't even remember who our junior high school teachers were, but you see, when teachers have an impact, that's the big thing, ladies and gentlemen. Teachers are impacting our students each and every day. So I'm sure when you saw her as a client, I know you was like, yo, I can't mess her hair. Like,
No, I
I
can't
got to
mess her
operate in
hair.
excellence right here.
Gotta be in excellence. I'm really thankful for the teachers that I had. They were the type who really cared. They stayed on me because they said they saw something greater. And
Right.
I hope to be that same. I want my students to remember me when I'm no longer around, be like, you know what, Miss Robin might have been crazy, but guess what?
Yo.
I remember the techniques. I remember her sayings. I remember what she taught me. And I hope that makes them even better than I am. That's all
Wow.
I can ever aspire for.
So if you and not to go left, but since you know how to do this hair, can you go anywhere in the world, and if you find a salon, can you get in and get busy? Like get in and do work? Like or you have to focus on, African American hair, or can you go anywhere and get busy?
I can go anywhere and do anyone's hair. I've
Woo!
always believed that hair doesn't have a race, only texture. And with it, I create
Okay,
art.
wait. Hold on. You said that too fast. Say that one more time, because you dropping some knowledge, and I want the young people to catch that. You said
Hair does not have a race,
hair does not have a race.
only texture.
Wait a minute. I thought, why we always want to get the weed from India and all what is it, somewhere in China where they say they got the good strand hair, but that don't even matter.
We're searching for texture. We like the wavy. We like the body wave. We like the raw Indian curl pattern. But that's just a texture. That's not so much the race, because in every race, you can have any type of texture.
Wow.
Like it, you
Real
can,
hair, they real hair.
real hair.
Wow.
You've seen us with melanated skin, with straight hair, with curly hair, with wavy hair. You know
Right.
how people say that good hair?
That
That's
good
just
hair.
a texture. That's a spiral texture. All the way down to the kinkiest that looks like a
Wait.
zigzag.
Good hair is just spiral texture.
Good hair is healthy hair.
Good hair is healthy hair.
That's what good hair is.
So I like that. Good hair is healthy hair.
It is.
Not because it look wet and wavy all
Right,
the time.
right.
What's the stuff what's the stuff when they put the curls on the side talking about that's my baby hair, and you
Look,
over 30, 40 years old talking
If
about
you
baby
can
hair?
ask for baby hair, you don't need it, because only babies can't talk. They have baby hair.
Babies have so
Babies have baby hair.
leave the babies alone. Let the babies have their baby hair.
Please let them have it. Oh my God. Leave it in 23. Let your
Wow.
hair grow up, please.
Wow. So
Yeah.
hair doesn't have a race.
No, it does not.
Man, so we just in search of the texture.
That's all we really do.
We wanted to think, but isn't our hair good enough, or we think that our hair is not good enough, so we have to search for something better because they looking at magazines, videos, TV. But it's like, yo, I remember the days my sister and mom doing hair. I smelt that comb on the fire, and my sister better not move. I hear a couple of screams, and then I see that big bottle of Vaseline right there. I'm like, whatever they doing over there, that seemed real. But have we stopped believing like our hair is beautiful? Speaking on African American.
Speaking particularly for African American people who have excessively curly hair or whatever their texture may be, I don't think the education has really been out there like it should have been. And then the media always portrays anything that's dark skin or kinky or not manageable. It's always like bad.
Right.
And it doesn't even matter just in our community. I literally came across a Latino lady who has a daughter who has some really, really curly, like almost kinky hair. And she immediately said it was bad hair.
Off top.
She didn't know what to do with it. It's bad hair because it's not like hers. It's not as straight. It's not as smooth.
Oh man.
And all it really was, she doesn't know how to treat that hair. I literally hydrated it with some water, put some leave-in conditioner in and a moisturizer, and every curl she had was defined.
What?
And it was super soft. It just was thirsty.
So that's the science that
That's
you
the-
love. You know what I'm saying? You knew what to do, and you helped that mother's daughter just like that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just that easy.
Really? And we over here thinking, well, I had this kinky hair is bad and this, and it's like, you got to know how to treat it. And you got to know what was good for you.
You have to know what applies to that person, because not just because of your race or your ethnic group, that has nothing to do with what your hair needs.
Wow.
Sometimes those kinkier and excessive curly hair, they need moisture, not specifically oil. They need moisture. Hydrated curls are the best ones. But if you're always drying it out and you're not treating it or it's not conditioned, then yeah, it doesn't operate like you want to. But that's any texture.
I remember everybody used to have that pink lotion for the hair. That everybody I knew in the hood had that big bottle, that pink bottle. Like everybody's hair don't need the same thing though, does it?
Everybody's hair doesn't need the same thing.
Wow, wow.
It's not a
Robin,
one-stop shop.
man, you done came up in here. We went started one way. You done came dropping knowledge on hair is not a race. Like yo, that need to go on a T-shirt or something. But any closing words? Anybody you want to like especially a message to the younger Robins that's out here in Memphis Shelby County schools. What would you say to them that may like, hey, I might want to do hair, might want to do something in all of those areas from doing cosmetology? What would you say to them?
Dream real big. Make your goals so big that they literally scare you. And do not be worried about people thinking that you're different. Different is okay. Stay knowledgeable. Get all the information you can possibly get. Search for the knowledge. It's out there if you really want it. Stay hungry about it too. Don't ever stop learning. And literally, you can have anything you want. Anything.
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 You can have a job created for you and all that
You can.
at Avalon,
You
like.
can. You definitely can.
Like who had like how is your support group? Like you got like an inner circle of people, or your friends that keep you going, because a lot of people think that they can do it on their own, but to me I think you always need somebody there to pick you up, or to not to gas you up, but just be like, yo, you can do that. Yo, they just created a position for you, like, yo, that's dope, instead of
That slow clap.
that slow clap. You know what I'm saying? So how is that for you? How has your support been?
I have good support.
Good.
I
good,
have close friends. I have good family that support me. I wouldn't be able to actually do what I do without them.
Gotcha.
They chin check me when I need it. They pick me up when I'm low. If I'm too high, they bring me down too.
Okay.
They keep me where I need to be so I can succeed, and they actually want what's best for me.
Wow.
So yeah, I got some good friends.
All right. Well, Robin, thank you so much for coming through. And I mean, you laid it out there. You know what I'm saying? And I hope we can get this to all our cosmetology teachers. I'm gonna get it to the head person at CCTE, so maybe she can make sure she share this with all of those classes that do cosmetology, and maybe we can do something where we can get you in or something, because you coming from Overton doing this, I mean, I'm sure you don't mind giving back to the young folks in some shape, form, or fashion, because you're a celebrity now. You know what I'm saying?
Not
I'm just
even.
saying. I'm just saying. You said you wanted to do celebrity hair back in the day. Now you the celebrity. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's okay. Just say yes. Thank you, John. That's all you got to say.
Thank you, Brother John. I appreciate it.
All right. So much love to you and much success. And I'm not gonna wait 2 more years to bring you up here, but we're gonna keep you. Anytime you got something popping, an advancement, or you want to bring some Avalon people up here, let them say some things. You got a spot here, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm talking about. Overton in the building, came through here stunting, and I'm